What's up, guys? In this video I want to talk about one of the best budget bodybuilding meals. This is Top Ramen. You could put some chicken, like some canned chicken in there. What is a canned chicken? Like 8 ounces of chicken, which costs about $2.50, right? You could put some of that in there, or you could just eat the ramen noodles. Ramen noodles, I bought 130 packs of ramen noodles today. For like $8. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I bought 32, 5 in each pack. They were on sale at the grocery store for 25 cents each. So I bought over 130 individual packs of ramen noodles for like less than $10. It's no money. It's considered like free food. It's considered like free food. Even on a bad day, you can get like the name brand Top Ramen. If it's not on sale, you can usually get like 4 or 5 for $1. You know. So that's the best budget bodybuilding meal. Is in each pack of Top Ramen is 9 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs, and something like 15, I forget how much fat, but I don't really count the fat. It's just real good. You know, it's just real good. Good quality carbs, packed with protein, packed with, you know, I can't imagine that the fat is really that bad for you. You know, I can't imagine that the fat is really that bad for you. I eat this shit like every day. Whenever I'm hungry, if I don't have any other food, I have ramen on deck. I'll show you guys. Look at all this shit. Look at all this Top Ramen. That's over 120 individual packs of Top Ramen just in that in my cabinet. It's just a lot. So, yeah, and also, you know, it's a standard for 25 grams of protein usually costs about $1. And let's say if you're eating 200 grams of protein a day, 250 grams of protein a day, that's like $10 a day that you're spending just on food. You know, man, those chicken breasts, those high protein diets are not fucking cheap, guys. That shit is expensive as fuck. So what you want to do is go for the, you know, try to find some good carbs that has protein in it, like ramen noodles. You know, go with what's on sale. You can get like, sometimes you can get like a pound of like turkey for like $1.50. I found it once for $1.50. Or like a standard for you know, a pound of meat is usually about like, what is it, like $3, you know, and a pound of meat is like, you know, maybe like $2, $3, $4. You get like 4 ounces of meat for $1, usually is the standard. Canned tuna, you know, chicken breast is real cheap. Ground beef, ground turkey, you know, just go to the grocery store and do the math yourself is the best way. But ramen noodles is always a hit in my book, because whenever I think of ramen noodles, I think about prison. You know, how I've seen videos around the internet where people getting fucking beat up over a pack of ramen noodles. To the average consumer, ramen noodles is like a broke motherfucker's budget food for when you're in college. If you don't have a whole lot of money, you eat ramen noodles. Well, as a broke bodybuilder, I find myself turning to ramen noodles all the time. So 5 out of 5 stars for ramen noodles. I went to the grocery store yesterday to find they're selling ramen noodles for like 5 cents each, 5 cents a pack. So for each meal is like 10 cents. It's crazy. It's completely insane. To be able to get like 5 packs of noodles for like 25 cents. I've never seen such a deal in my life before. As soon as I get paid 2 days from now, that's the first place I'm going. Is I'm going to the grocery store to get some more. I want to fill my entire pantry up with as many ramen noodles as I could fit. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's all about, when you're broke, it's all about, you know, you got to survive, you know. So being a bodybuilder, you know, if I wasn't a bodybuilder trying to eat on a budget, I'd probably be eating a lot of like rice and stuff. Probably wouldn't be taking in a whole lot of protein, because protein is always more expensive than carbs. And ramen noodles is a universal fuel for your body. So whether if you're rich or poor, ramen noodles stacks up there with some of the best protein foods. In prison, I've never been to prison, I'll never go to prison, but in prison, if you have like $1 a day for ramen noodles, if you have ramen noodles in prison, you're like rich. So I'll never be spoiled. You know, I'll never be spoiled, because I was a little bit spoiled growing up, because I didn't have a dad growing up and stuff. So I was a little bit spoiled, and I saw the aftermath of being spoiled and not understanding the value of $1. You know, I didn't really have to work for what I got. I had businesses. I had like little hustles that I would do to make like 50 or 70 or $100 a couple times a year. You know, being like a solo entrepreneur. You know, at the end of the day, pretty much, ramen noodle stacks up there with some of the best food. Whether if you're a bodybuilder, or if you or a regular motherfucker, you know, you could always throw like 2 packs of ramen noodles into a bowl with some water and put the seasoning pack, and it's like a pretty good tasting, like cheap food. I'm eating right now for like 10 cents a meal. You know, I want to get as much of this shit as possible. I'm probably going to go up to the store right now. And pick out like 3 more packs of ramen noodles, you know. But it's getting close to that time at night where I have to take my medication. So, yeah, but, anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. I'm looking forward to scarfing down about a pack of ramen noodles right about now. And like I said, if I could go show you guys the macros on this, the macronutrient profile is 390 calories a pack, which is bad. It's 16 grams of fat, 16 grams of fat, 53 grams of carbs, and 8 grams of protein per pack. So if you need a quick little hit of some good carbs and some good protein, and the only thing that really bogs it down is the damn fat that's in this shit. You know, the fat is just preservatives to keep it, the fat content in, ramen noodles is, I believe it comes from the preservatives to keep it, what's it called, like, what's it called, fucking, porous, to keep it like porous, to keep it so that, you know, it's shelf stable for like many years. You know, as my understanding that you could manufacture some ramen noodles and it's going to be like good food. It's safe to eat for like until the end of time, for like hundreds of years. You know, ramen noodles will never go bad. But yeah, ramen noodles, you know, best bodybuilding budget food. You can get in your carbs plus an extra, like, if you're struggling to get in your calories every day, ramen noodles is the way to go. And it's like, you're never too good for ramen noodles, you know. You're never too good for a bowl of ramen noodles, you know. But it beats the alternative, you know. When you think about, before you spend 20 bucks at fucking McDonald's, before you spend 20 bucks at McDonald's for a good meal at McDonald's, that just makes you fat and fucking bogs you down, you know, think about buying, like, you know, some ramen noodles for the day, but spend like $2 on some ramen noodles and you got food for the whole day. I remember the first time I went on a 4,000 calorie diet. The first time I started to eat more than like 3,000 calories a day, it was ramen noodles, tuna, top ramen, and tuna. Because I looked all around the internet and I found that was like the best diet. I found that I could get like chicken for like, with the bone in it, for like $1.79 a pound. You know, you can get chicken for like $1.79 a pound. And what I would do is, since I didn't even have a stove at the time, I would take like a soup cup. I would take like a big cup, and I would put like some chicken drumsticks in and boil it in the microwave, which was not good, but that's what I had to do at the time. And ramen noodles, eating like as much ramen noodles as possible. Peanut butter. I became very familiar with like the big value size jar of peanut butter. You can get like, you know, 20,000 or I don't know how many calories. Let's just say it's a lot of calories, like 15,000 calories for like $4 or something like that. Something ridiculous, you know. And you know, but ramen noodles, I think, if you have a choice, if you have the money, probably don't eat ramen noodles because of the extra fat content that's in there. But probably just eat like regular pasta or rice or something. next time you see me, I'm on like a quest. I'm on like a little quest to stockpile as much useful shit as possible. And pretty much, you know, I want to fill my entire pantry full of ramen noodles. And pop and like, you know, get like as much like soda as I could possibly get. And just fill that entire cabinet full of like ramen noodles. Okay, you gotta have ramen noodles. The reason for that is because those late night need for food, those late night cravings, when you get hungry at night, you know, you have to have like some sort of a way to get in your calories. It beats eating food out of the garbage. Like sometimes I have to eat food out of the garbage, you know. And then I could also help out one of my communities as well. In the house that I live in, I live with like 6 other people. If someone else is hungry, I could give them some ramen noodles, and then they could pay me back in like a later time, you know. Because I'm kind of past the point of giving shit out for free. I feel like I've paid my debt to society while I was young, you know. That if I see someone like begging for money, I don't necessarily am not obligated to pull it out of my pocket and give them the money. I think that's a phase that every American has to go through, is like, are you a giver or are you a taker? Me, I'm more of a giver, so I crossed that point in my life like this year where I don't really owe the world anything. I don't have to give anything that I don't want to give. And if I do give something, it's kind of with the expectation that I'm going to get something in return, you know, or if someone is like starving, maybe like help them out. If someone is in like desperate need of a cigarette, maybe like throw them a bone, but not to be like an asshole, but I don't feel like I owe anything to the world anymore. So pretty much that's about it. You got to get those ramen noodles. You know, ramen noodles, 5 cents a pack right now. I get a pack of 5 packs of ramen noodles for 25 cents at the grocery store right now. And I'm going to take full advantage of that shit. But I got to quit the soda. You know, soda's no good. You know, I got to quit the soda. If a can of pop costs like 50 cents, and if I'm drinking like a whole 12 pack of pop every single day, that's just too expensive for my taste, you know. So as a bodybuilder, as a weightlifter, as a power trainer, as a someone who I care about the way I look, you know, when I pop my shirt off, I want to be looking good, which currently I don't. You know, I guess like when I'm standing, I'm kind of in that weird loop where when I'm sitting down, I look like dog shit. When I'm standing up, I guess I look pretty okay. But I wouldn't call myself much of a shade past decent. If I could show you guys what I look like. You know, show you guys. And then, so a big part about weightlifting is we go through seasons. You might spend like 5 years. If you want quick results, you're in for a sad realization when 5 years passes you by and you've been in and out of like bulking and cutting. Like you go through a weight gain period, which I was in a weight gain period for about like 7 years. And then to enter a weight loss period to cut down the body fat to reveal the muscle that's underneath. A lot of people don't know that the secret to getting big is you have to eat more food. You know, you have to eat more protein. That's the secret to building muscle and getting big, is you have to eat a calorie surplus. You have to eat more food, you know, and mainly it's the protein that builds the muscle, you know. But carbs, there's no denying that, like, carbs, like rice and pasta and ramen noodles, you know. For example, today I ate 4 packs of ramen noodles, which is about, how much is that? That's like 2,000 calories right there. Plus I had a good dinner. It was real good. A good house prepared dinner, you know. The people that own this house, that living in a halfway house means that I don't have the freedom to treat the place however I want. It has to stay pretty much spotless clean. But they do prepare like small meals for us. They're obligated to prepare for us 2,000 calories a day of nutritional value. And the people in this particular halfway house do a really good job. A halfway house is for adults who can't hack it in the real world. There's probably like 50 of them in the city, in my city, or more maybe, I don't know. And it's not a business to get into if you just want to make money. People that live here need like special care and consideration, and like need like special care. Usually it's like older people or younger people that with mental disabilities and stuff. And me personally, I'm schizophrenic. I know it doesn't look like it, but hey. Meow. So living in halfway houses for like 7 years now, I've met a lot of really cool people. I've also met a lot of really whacked out and fucked up people. Mostly the general demographic of halfway houses is like people that are worse off than me. Because you know, me personally, I'm 100% compliant with my medication. I take my medication as prescribed. A lot of people don't like to take their medication, so they just, their fucked upness just bleeds through the fact that they're not medication compliant. And it's more like older people that are too young for a nursing home, but too old to work. It's what it usually is. It's like 50-50 really. It's like young people, older people. A lot of like people that have physical disabilities live here. people that have mental disorders, you know, and every now and then something fucking terrible happens. It was somewhere in a halfway house. I remember we had a security guard like 3-4 years ago that got stabbed by one of the people that live here. Hey! By a mentally ill patient, a mental patient, a mentally ill person. So, a halfway house is not somewhere where you want to wind up for like your life, even though it sounds cliche and it sounds like kind of attractive. I don't have to work, I could just live off the government, but then they give you like $36 a week allowance out of your social security that you worked for. I worked for 5 years before I went on disability, and I was born with a mild form of Down syndrome. My parents, my grandparents have been encouraging me, like, Bud, my grandfather always used to tell me, like, Bud, I don't think you're going to be able to work a job. I think you probably should just go on disability, since I was 6 years old. Finally, and my response to that was, no way, Jose, not a chance. I'm going to work for my money. I wanted to be a contributing member of society. Age 21, 22 rolls around, and I got fired from my job for the last time, and I wound up homeless on the streets, which was a terrible experience. And my mom got me in touch, basically forced me to go on disability because she knew I couldn't hack it in the real world. But the funny thing is I could make money. I could make a shit ton of money in business. I'm more of an at your own pace. Like, I don't respond too well to authority. I don't respond too well to authority. I don't believe anyone has the balls to boss me around. If anything, I could probably outperform most of the bosses that I would wind up working for if I had a job. But this year, I will get a job. I'm going to be working like part-time through a staffing agency. And and what taught me about ramen noodles the most, whatever taught me about ramen noodles the most is I knew this guy who was in prison for 7 years. And overall, this guy's like a decent guy. You wouldn't really expect that this guy would go to prison. But he was in prison for 7 years and taught me a lot, about like the economy. He taught me about like how the way the economy works in prison is sometimes like people are getting jumped or murdered for like a couple packs of noodles, So that really helped me really figure like, ramen noodles, I guess so, the porous nature of pasta as it is swells up those muscles with water. And you got Kali Muscle, who used to eat like five or six top ramens a day in prison, and he's like super jacked. So I connected the dots, and I thought like ramen noodles is like a fucking miracle food, is like almost like a gift from the fucking gods to say like, if you can come up with 25 cents, if you can come up with $0.25, you can eat, you can get buff and build muscle. It has like a protein density. It has like clean carbohydrates, but it has a lot of fat. So when I get a little bit more money, I'm probably not going to be sticking with the ramen noodles. But that's just my little spiel on ramen noodles, is I learned from this guy that did 7 years in prison that people are getting murdered over like a fucking pack of noodles, and it helped me attach like the sincerity to ramen noodles, and like I'll never be like too big to indulge in some ramen noodles. I think even when I buy my dream house, which is a $10 million house, I'll still have like a couple packs of ramen noodles like laying around the house just because they taste good. It's good for protein. It's good for good carbs, And if I start craving some ramen noodles, fuck it, right? Eat some ramen noodles. But yeah, if you have a lot of money, you probably shouldn't be eating ramen noodles. You probably should be eating like rice and chicken and like other stuff. But you could survive, theoretically, you could live your whole life just eating ramen noodles. It has protein, carbs, and fats. So, but it has a lot of sodium, which can cause heart attacks. If you eat in excess abundance of sodium, it can cause you to have a heart attack. Is it's not good. It like swells your body up with bad water, with like water retention. And so public service announcement, don't be eating ramen noodles for like your whole life. Your primary food should not come from ramen noodles. It's packed with sodium. And if you do eat a lot of ramen noodles, don't use the whole fucking seasoning packet, motherfucker. You don't want to have a heart attack at the age of 40 without ever having done any steroids, without ever having lived your elder years, because I made this video about ramen noodles. You gotta question someone's authenticity, and if they're just a jackass. But I'm a certified sports nutritionist. I give ramen noodles a thumbs up. But do not, if you're eating like 6 packs of ramen noodles a day, do not eat the whole seasoning packet. For every 2 bricks of noodles, you should only have 1 seasoning packet. To me, that is like perfectly well enough. Or find something else. Put like a little bit, like some slice of cheese in your noodles. Put like some fucking black pepper and some salt. Put like some black pepper or something in your noodles. Put like something in there that's not just pure sodium. And that's my spiel on ramen noodles.